sorrow may last for the night. Joy comes in the morning. I walk by faith, even when I cannot see.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Kingdom Conversations. Today we have a very special guest, Miss LikiaMcKitric. She's going to be sharing her journey today of becoming an aspiring multimedia mogul. Kiki, that's my girl. We've been cool for a long time, and I've had a chance to, watch her grow into the beautiful woman that she is today.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about some things that, some trauma that you faced throughout your life. So how did you get to wanting to become a multimedia mogul? What happened? What are some family challenges that you faced?
That's some talking points. Well, we all have a story for sure. And we've all had challenges that we've had to overcome that affected us in different ways. And coming from a low-income neighborhood and single-parent household, I had to come through certain challenges that are typical when a family is divided. Mom's always at work, dad is either out what he's doing or incarcerated, things like that. So you come up with limited knowledge of things when it comes to health and wellness on many levels, both spiritually, mentally, physically. You have a level of ignorance where you just go down the wrong path. At some point, I caught on to that and started to make changes, and so that inspired me to want to spread that information to many others, because we are not alone on that. So from our eating habits to our, just daily emotional and mental things that we go through, we don't handle ourselves properly. So it's just I just feel like it's a message that needs to be heard, and plus I tend to be entertaining at times.
Very entertaining.
So I'm just the edutainer, like just combining education with entertainment.
Yeah, so when I met you, we were doing hair, but we've traveled down a long journey. So when I ran into you again, you started Kia's Kitchen.
I did, because I did struggle with obesity for the majority of my life, especially towards adolescence and going into my early 20s, just again going back to the ignorance when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to just mind, body, and spirit things. So I tried a whole lot of different diets, plus I've always loved to cook. I come from a family of restaurant owners and beauty salon owners. That's why you met me in hair school, because they like, if you don't get your license, it's a family tradition, to get a cosmetology license. So just for my love of culinary and the arts and what it was doing for me, I began to share those things with you, especially when I started doing plant-based eating. And I did that before I even had bariatric surgery, because I was a lot heavier, 115 pounds heavier. And before I even had the surgery, I just started to make changes and wanted to do things to improve my health and wellness.
So was there a serious moment in life? I know you said you dealt with the obesity, but there were some other health issues going on that led you to having the bariatric surgery?
Yeah, and it all stemmed from obesity. That's like at the top of the pyramid, and then a whole lot of different issues come from that. Like, people would be surprised at how much healthier you can get and how you can eliminate diseases and ailments just by losing weight. And so when I was at my highest weight, I had high blood pressure, I was pre-diabetic, I had, I always forget what it's called. It's a herniated hiatal hernia. That's what it was. Hiatal hernia, where your stomach pushes up through the diaphragm, like half of your stomach is lodged in your diaphragm.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy. It was crazy. And I started going through things like, they would start looking into sleep apnea and thyroid problems.
Mm-hmm.
But once I lost the weight, everything just went away.
And that's when Kia's Kitchen popped in. Like, you
started
had
popping
some
off.
good food. Like, I wasn't about that vegan life at all. I'm like, I don't want that fake meat and none of that. But she made some stuff for me, and oh my God, I'm not vegan today. But
I'm not even vegan.
See how she just switched up on us?
I'm not even vegan, but just the reduction, just reducing dairy and meat significantly is helpful. Even if you don't cut it all the way out, you would notice significant changes just by not eating meat and a bunch of dairy every single day, 3 meals a day. Mm-hmm. So cutting it out. And so for our people, we like flavor, we like taste. Yes. When we think about vegan or plant-based, and like, I'm not about to be chewing on carrots and this, but plant-based eating has come a long way. It's come a long way from what it used to. Because I used to fool you on some things.
Yeah.
Especially with the cookies and the desserts that I'll bring in. Like, yeah.
I be smashing like that. You can put some kind of sugar in there. You can put an egg. You can do something.
And I'm like, nope, none of that. None of that. But sugar is sugar. You gotta watch that though too.
Yes, you do.
Because even if it is plant-based, sugar is sugar. So that's a good way to fool people though, because we love our sweets.
Yes,
So
we do. I know I do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like a big stretch, like a big jump. You go from being in culinary, then moving into media school.
Yeah.
How did you
segue into that?
Yes. How does that go? Are you still doing? And you're a scrum master too, right?
Yeah.
Girl, you all over.
I know. I always just been a data freak. Just always, I want to know. I want to learn. Mm-hmm. And so with the Kia's Kitchen, after COVID, everybody's small businesses I had just started, and it just got kicked off the wayside. And just in order for marketing and branding and all the things that I do, I felt like going to media school is something that would allow me to give a platform to the things that I do have to offer. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, what's the point of having a great product if nobody knows where it is? And so just certain things I want to do that, like shows and podcasts and like what we're doing right now, just opening up conversations and discussions to things that in our community we typically don't discuss. Yes. But it's an elephant in the room. Yeah. It's a big problem and nobody's talking about it. So I just wanted to just expand my horizons on things.
So, of course, everyone knows it's a faith-based podcast. Mm-hmm. I recall you telling me that God used to give you prophetic dreams when you were a child. Mm-hmm. Can you share with us what that looked like?
Oh my goodness. It was interesting to say the least in the beginning. I remember when I was about maybe 12 years old, and I just had this urge to write something. I wanted to write a book or a song or a poem, or I just felt like I had something to say. So, you know how the little girls, we think we're grown. I ran me a bubble bath and got me a notebook and pen, and I sat in the tub and I started to pray. And I asked God, I said, Lord, I want to share a story. I want to publish something. And I could hear just clear as day, well, you have to live a life first that has a story to tell. So it's going to come at a later date. And I'm just sitting there like, but I want to do something now. But I never forgot that. And just between dreams and things that you will move just faithfully. You don't know why, you don't know how, you don't know where or when, you just make certain moves. Something told me I need to just really tap into reading the Bible. I need to tap into learning how to cook from scratch and learn survival skills, like gardening and fishing and Like, I still want to do hunting. Like, I still want somebody to teach me how to hunt. Like, I want to do hunt.
Somebody let her know.
Let me know. Like, I want to get out there. But just on how to thrive, because a lot of things I'm thinking of my words. Like, a lot of things we outsource and we use that we're able to provide for ourselves. Mm-hmm. Just like the widow's oil in the Book of Kings, where she had these debts, and she had when her husband passed, and she had all these collectors. They were going to sell her son into slavery, and she was going to have to work her husband's debts off. And an angel came to her and said, you have all of this oil in here. Go and collect bottles from your neighbors, and you already have this oil. You have what you need. And she was able to sell her scented oil and pay off the debt, and actually became wealthy, from that. So the lesson that I got from that is we have what we need already, and we're not even using it. It's here, and we're just not using it.
So what stops us from using it, or what stopped you from using it? Because I know you had to jump over some hurdles. You had some things that really, affected that. If you care to share.
Oh, sure, yeah. Ignorance. You don't. When you know better, you do better. If you live in a neighborhood and the only stores around you are the liquor stores and pony kids that sell hot Cheetos and things that's got high fructose corn syrup and, MSG and that sort of thing, and you don't know how those chemicals are affecting your nervous system. You don't know how it's affecting your digestive system and how your gut has a direct influence on your mental health. I didn't know that until I was an adult. You know what I mean? I didn't know that until I was an adult. And I didn't even connect the dots that what we're eating and drinking or not eating and drinking, it really directly affects our health. And your health goes into mind, body, and spirit when you're not eating right. So as time went on, you just start learning, and as you know better, you do better,
Have you ever fasted before?
I have. I want to get better at that. I have, and especially when I belonged to church and we would do it as a church, like a consecration. I would do it in a structured environment like that. But I haven't ventured out into just fasting on my own. But that is something that...
It's powerful.
Yeah, and I know you talk about it. You do. You talk about it.
I'm a faster. Like, I do that, but it just brings me back even to, like, the book of Daniel. Like, we talk about vegan. Daniel was... that's what it was. He was doing a vegan fast, except it was literally only like fruits, water, and vegetables. Like, that was it. And we just thought, you think about how powerful he was, like how their appearance was different and everything. They were stronger versus everybody else, So I like the fact that, vegan can be tied into that and just what it does for your body.
Cleansing your temple.
It cleanses everything. Think differently. It does a lot. So
it does. The old habits die hard though, and we are surrounded. We're in an environment where it's not so easy to come by. Because when I first went vegan, like, number one, I was overweight and I was trying all kind of diets. Then I watched this documentary. I watched What the Health and was scared straight. Girl, real quick. Like, the next day, I'm like, oh my God. Like, no. It's because when I started thinking about, like, what the meat houses are doing to the environment, what it does to our body, what it does spiritually. And when I started learning all this stuff, I'm like, it was a light bulb. But so 7 months straight, I was straight vegan. And that's really where the business grew. Because when I was cooking for myself, and I'm always been a foodie, always been a foodie. So when I was cooking for myself and creating recipes, and I'm sharing it with people, they're like, "You need to sell this. This is good." And I was like, "Really?" So then I started throwing like taste testing parties and inviting friends and family to taste certain things, and I got a lot of good feedback. And so that's what grew the business. But what I was saying was, after a few months, I changed jobs and my lifestyle changed, and I didn't have the time to prep those meals like I was doing at first. And when you get out there in every drive-through, there's nothing plant-based.
Nothing at all. It's so unhealthy. You can taste the difference in the food. Like if you do go vegan, or I'm gonna say do a Daniel's fast and do it for a long period of time, things taste different. Like I don't even want half the stuff anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like we want to hurry up and get that bite to eat real quick. I don't feel like cooking.
So then that just led into me trying to learn how to organize my meal plan. So then, the ideas start sparking, like, who else needs this? You know what I mean? Then I start talking to personal trainers. It tells me that their clients are looking for somebody to meal prep, and especially plant-based. Then I started hearing from people with allergies. So many people are allergic to eggs and are lactose intolerant. So then it was going from vegan and plant-based to allergy-friendly. Then the gluten people start coming at me like, well, what about gluten-free? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm still working on that. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
It's our temple. We have to really take care of it. Like you said, that's mentally, physically, spiritually, all that. Definitely physically, though. You need that.
Yeah, it makes a difference. And I've certainly been on both sides of the spectrum. So I have a first-hand view and a first-hand experience of how it feels to be on both sides. And girl, the weight thing, that's a whole other topic in itself, aside from the health. Like, aside from the health and wellness, just society and psychologically, emotionally, what carrying out that weight is and what it represents. And a lot of times when we hold on to traumas and emotional things, it manifests into physical issues, including weight. So a lot of that stuff I was holding on to was childhood trauma. You know what I mean? A generational trauma. It wasn't just about me not pushing away from the table. Because a few years before I had the surgery, I eat healthier than most thinner people that I saw. I was more active. You know what I mean? But once it's on there, it's so hard for it to come off. So it's definitely hard for it to come off on every level. So
what do they call that? Emotional eating? Is that what it is? So what are some things that, I know you said childhood trauma, but what's something that led you to doing that? Were you always a bigger size, or like even from childhood? So that's in the bloodline. Is it in the bloodline?
But is it really? You know what I mean? Is it really in the bloodline, or is it the habits? Like how a family will say cancer runs in our family or high blood pressure runs in our family. It's not so much of that. You passing down great grandma's recipe with all that butter and cheese and you know what I mean, and white starch and all of that thing, and that's what we're eating, and we feed our kids and grandkids and that. And so your body reacts to those things. Maybe that's not what you're supposed to be eating in the first place. And again, tying into psychological and emotional things, if what was the old stigma? What happened in this house, stay in this house. We don't talk about this. We don't talk about that. All that stuff builds up, and your cells, that you're all the way down to your cells of your body, don't reproduce the way they're supposed to. They don't, like, if you ever watch any of those science projects where they, like the rice experiment, where how certain vibrations will certainly make you, make you just evolve into a certain. I'm trying to get my words out.
Like,
you know what I mean?
I don't know if we talked about that when they had the 2 strawberries or 2 flowers or something.
Rice. Was it rice?
I don't know if it was rice or something. I've seen different experiences where you speak to one like, you ugly, you ain't never gonna be nothing in life, da 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 da, and this, oh my gosh, I love you. You're so beautiful. You're gonna do great things with your life. So this on this hand would, like, say, let's say rice. This stayed white for a very long time, but this side, this rice over here, became molded, and it had black marks in it, and all of it all came from how it was spoken to and how it was treated. Like, so people don't realize how deep that kind of stuff goes. But as far as it being, childhood in the bloodline, no, I don't think so. Like, I was told certain things, like, well, a lot of times mothers, if the child is crying, give the child a bottle.
If the child needs something, here, give the child a cookie, that sort of thing, or quiet the child with some snacks or candy. Or if a child is a latchkey kid and at home alone, just make sure there's plenty of food in the refrigerator. Emotional, the kid starts eating emotionally, bored, don't have nothing to do, grab some ice cream, and nothing. So a lot of it comes from detachment from parents, all type of things stem from it. And it's a wide spectrum. I was listening to Oprah earlier today on the podcast, and she was talking about how it's a very wide spectrum when it comes to obesity. Some people have a trait, just like some people have the gene for alcoholism.
Yeah.
One person can drink and overdrink, but still not an alcoholic. Another person can drink and not drink that much, but they got that gene for alcoholism and it becomes an addiction. So it's like a lot of different factors into things. And so my cousin, for example, oh my gosh, girl, she's beanpole skinny and she get out, eat meat any day, all day, every day.
Like that's me.
Yeah, you. We've been out to eat. Like, yeah, you. I'm sitting here like, whoo, I'm done. You like, you let me get a piece of that. Like, that's I'm like, what?
Don't be put me on blast in front of all these people.
But I'm the one that gained all the weight though. She eating, and but like it's just genetics. You know what I mean? A lot of things are just we're all unique and individual.
So you planning on going back to doing Kids Kitchen? Because I feel like it's much needed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I am coming back. I am working on a plan. I am starting Kids Kitchen back up. At this time around, it will not be all plant-based because, like I said earlier, I'm not even a vegan.
Yeah.
I call myself a flexitarian.
What is a flexitarian? Just in case some people don't know what a flexitarian is, we be looking up for you.
I found it. I'm using it. So that's
Hashtag.
Right. Hashtag flexitarian. Just moderation. I don't eat too much of any one thing. I don't eat pork. That's the one thing that I don't eat.
No pork.
Beef is very limited. Chicken even more limited. I go hard on seafood though. That's my favorite. That's my favorite is seafood. And just try not. I still do meatless days. I still practice my plant-based and vegan recipes. I still primarily make my desserts vegan because that's the easiest. Because the only thing that's in, like cake for example, that's not vegan is eggs and dairy milk. Oat milk or almond milk does just as good. And when you use egg alternatives, it does the same thing. And like I said earlier, sugar is sugar, and that's what people want to taste.
Yeah.
As long as it don't taste like stevia or sweet and low. Yeah. I done fooled so many people with my desserts. Like,
yeah, you got me. That's for sure.
And didn't tell you till afterwards that it was vegan.
Right. A lady at the church I visited not too long ago, she did some banana nut bread and it was during a Daniel's fast. And she was like, you want to try this little banana nut bread? I'm like, yeah, I'll try it.
Killing it in the car.
Yeah, I was. I was smashing. The next thing I'm on the phone, like, I need you to make me a whole loaf. A whole loaf. So, I know we talked about your vegan journey, Kids Kitchen, but I want to go back to, you just graduated from media school.
I did it.
Yay!
Thank you.
Congratulations!
Yes, I wanted to learn it. I wanted to learn about it.
Okay, so where you gonna go with that? What's happening? What's going on?
I don't know. I'm trying not to. One of my mentors told me not to be a spray gun, to be a sniper. Because you know, a spray gun like a Uzi or something, it's got all those rounds, and you can shoot, you can, it don't hit nothing, and you have like 30 bullets in there. But a sniper is calculated and take their time and end up taking one shot, they hit the target. So I'm saying that to say I'm trying not to be a spray gun, but I have so many aspirations. I mainly want to just boost and create my channel that has an overarching theme of mental health and wellness, but I want to tackle everything that falls under that umbrella. So as I stated before, your physical health, So when it comes to being active and exercising, eating better, doing things in moderation, your mental health, as far as if you just talk therapy, counseling, medication if you need it, or if the holistic route is better for you, like then spiritually, how those things are connected with God and keeping God at the center and at the top of everything, that will bring everything round and make you whole. It'll make you whole. So it's a lot of things that'll fall under that. Because I love a comedy girl.
Yes, I know.
I'm being kind of like this right now, but I definitely want to spread this information through entertaining things and educating things as far as food, and again, food.
That's
because I want a food vlog.
You keep on talking about it, so that's why we're trying to talk about your aspiring journey into going into media school. But you keep going back to food, so
and it's all connected.
That's your
it's
passion.
fused in.
So was that one of the prophetic dreams? You said you just didn't know. My bad. You said you didn't know. But what do you feel now? What is he saying to you now, as far as what you should be doing, where you should be going?
I keep coming back to the food.
I want to know how you gonna combine the two. It can happen. I'm not saying it won't happen. It can definitely happen.
I know. It's under construction. It's the work in progress. But I definitely but no, just more into the food. Food has so many layers under it, because going even back to from an economic standpoint, people don't know how to cook from scratch.
Nope.
No, so they're relying on restaurants and microwaves, processed foods and instant things that is tied to all type of cancers and nervous system issues and that. So that's one area right there, is how to turn things from scratch just into something beautiful. My cousin used to visit, one of my cousins, he would say, I will go look in your refrigerator and it looked like ain't nothing in there. And I'd say, I'm hungry. I go sit down for a few minutes. It's like it seemed like you come back with some restaurant stuff where did you get that stuff? It was in there the whole time. You just didn't know how to put it together.
Know what to do.
You know what I mean? You just didn't know how to put it together, to take that flour and milk and make a roux real quick and boil some pasta and throw some shrimp. You know what I mean? And so that's important just from an economic standpoint and health. Because all of the sodium and preservatives and stuff that's in those processed foods and restaurant foods are not good for you. And it costs more.
And speaking of that, the processed foods and the vegetables, they even taste different. So what are your thoughts? I know I heard you speak on gardening. Did you garden? Were you gardening? So what's some tips you can give us as far as that and the importance of that? Because I believe that's what we all should be going back to learning. Growing food. Because so many things is changing nowadays, and they spraying the vegetables and stuff with all kind of stuff. Ain't nothing good no more.
I know. I was having this conversation with my friend who's a nurse, and she's saying even if you go to that level and you go to that depth, even the soil is not pure. So to some degree, we just gotta pray and eat. You know what I mean? Just pray and eat. But gardening, even if you're not growing all of the food that you're eating, is still helpful to know how to grow certain things in the zone where you're in. It's peaceful. It's definitely something that's stress relieving to get out there in nature. The science proved that when you are outside of nature, your hands are in the soil, or you're barefoot, is something therapeutic there that just calms the nervous system, and you learn patterns of things. Like most things they grow a certain way and they have certain families, and the more you get into it, you just really, it's satisfying. And then to eat something that you grew.
I know I have my own little like raised garden bed, so I would just go out there and get some stuff off the little tree or whatever. But what I didn't know is what you grow next to what, and I messed up.
Stuff grew.
Stuff grew. Stuff grew, but I still didn't know where to put
Right,
what?
like companion planning and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's another area that I would want to have on my channel. That's gonna have an area of part in it because that's satisfying to do as well.
Okay.
And it's just stuff to know how to do. Like I know in my family, my mom on my mom's side, we're from Kentucky, in Danville, Kentucky. And she like, you never know what's gonna happen. You gotta know how to gut a fish. You gotta know how to fish. I know. And then fishing, I don't know. But
I got a brother-in-law for that. He do that. I do the other stuff.
But yeah, certain things that I think, and as much as times change, certain things need to stay the same because it's what's been sustaining us for centuries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And agriculture and just any plant-based eating, certain spiritual practices is what's been keeping us for lifetimes.
Yeah.
You know, generations. So
exactly.
yes,
So
for sure.
with your YouTube channel, actually, I want you to give us all the information of how people can start following your YouTube channel. You need your Instagram. Y'all gotta check her out too, especially on TikTok. Oh my God, this girl, she's a comedian for real. She being real calm right now. She not this calm. Don't let that little cuteness fool you.
I'm sorry. No, I got on a dress today, so I gotta act like I got some sense. Cause I want to try. I got on a dress today, so my grandma told me to sit with your legs crossed and be a lady when you got on the dress. So that's no, but I'm a Likia Christine on YouTube. Kia's Kitchen _Scentsy is on TikTok and Instagram. And that carries over to Facebook. So between Kia's Kitchen _Scentsy and Likia Christine, and that's LIKIA, not LAKIA. Like everybody.
She directed that at me.
That everybody wants to spell it. I know it sounds like Likia, but it's Likia.
Yes.
So that's where I can be found. I got a lot of things under construction right now.
Okay, that's okay. I'm under construction too.
Yes,
I definitely am. But if they want to get a dish or something made, you're still open to making those dishes. So
absolutely, I got a birthday party order at the end of this month. I still take orders just one-on-one, but we're just not set up where we were. And it's coming, it's on the way, summertime is happening, it's a lot of events. You're gonna see me outside at the festivals, at the pop-ups, you will see us outside. We got our fingers crossed that it'll be a food truck before it gets cold again.
Yes.
If not this year, definitely springtime of 2025, for sure.
So we got a lot to look forward to. See, I thought that this episode was gonna be about trauma, but it really wasn't. It was about what God is calling her to do, and that's to go back into doing her foods and translating into this media thing. Well, she's gonna be promoting on the cooking show.
Yes, absolutely. But you know what they say, roses grow from dirt. It is kind of from trauma, because I have gone through a lot, a whole lot, and I've gone through a lot of dark times that once I started finally getting to that light towards the end of the tunnel, it was, you know how it's blurry and then it just started getting clearer and clearer. And it's like, that's why I was going through all
you don't get attacked.
this, and this.
And I've always told you, I told her that even from me, you don't get attacked for no reason. It's something great. The enemy sees something great in you, so he want to try to take you out way before you get to wherever you're supposed to be going. So,
and I see that now, so it's a lot of work to do. We got a lot of projects that we collaborate on. That will be seen.
Yes, it will. Well, I thank you so very much for coming on and sharing your gems with us.
Thank you for inviting me, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
Absolutely. She'll be back. When she comes back, she's going to have all that stuff going. We're speaking it into existence.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for tuning in for this episode of Kingdom Conversations. We'll see you next time. Bye.
I walk by faith